Hi there, and welcome to Faith in 5. And happy Friday to everyone. Faith in 5 is where we believe you can build your faith in 5 minutes. I'm your host, Reggie Wilson, and I'm back with another episode. Today we're going to be in the book of John, that's in the New Testament. We're going to be in John chapter 19, starting in verse 10. I'm going to give you a little backdrop to the story. Right around this time, it's right around the time where Jesus was praying in the Garden of Gethsemane. He was praying, he prayed 3 times to go through the pain he would need to go through. He gets up and calls his disciples to go with him, and remind you, they fell asleep, slept asleep on him. And here's it come. The soldiers come to get Jesus, and his disciples fled. Now he's brought before these religious rulers. He smacked around, spit on, and all that stuff. Now he's before the governor, Pilate. Now, Jesus already knew what he was about to go through and the pain he would suffer. But the point I want to make today is Jesus never compromised. He never tried to take the easy way out. He took the road less taken, the hard road. He could have easily weaseled his way out. Let me give you an example. In John chapter 19, starting in verse 10, Jesus is right now before Pilate. And Pilate right now is asking Jesus some questions. These possible questions could have saved Jesus' life. Let me show you how Jesus responds. In John chapter 19, starting in verse 10, it says, "Do you refuse to speak to me?" Pilate said. "Don't you realize I have the power either to free you or to crucify you?" Jesus answered, "You would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. Therefore, the one who handed me over to you is guilty of a greater sin." We'll stop there. So here it is. Pilate puts the question on Jesus. Hey, you're not answering me. You're not talking to me. Don't you know that I have the power to free you or put you to death? Jesus puts things in the right perspective. He said, you have no power unless the one that has given it to you, which is his Father, who he said was guilty in a greater sin, sacrificed his very own son so we can have an opportunity. The point. You see, when you think about it and you realize everything that Jesus went through up to this point, he had every reason to take an easy way out. He had every reason to compromise. When we think about his story, we think about how he was beaten, he was mutilated, stabbed, accused, everything, you name it. He had no sin. He was guilty of nothing that they mentioned. And he went through all of that. And he had a perfect opportunity to save his very own life. And he denied it. Because there was a bigger purpose involved. The purpose was saving our lives. The purpose was giving us another shot so we could be connected to the Father and have a relationship with him. You see, Jesus kept things in perfect perspective. And that's why he was able to say those things to Pilate. Question for the day, or here's a challenge. In our lives, we're all faced with some situations where, hey, we could compromise. Or we could make things just a little bit easy for us. But we know it's not right, and we know it's not beneficial. I'm going to give you a case in point on myself. I'm the type of person where, listen, I'm always on a diet. I'm always trying to lose weight or do something. But let me tell you something. You put some snacks, some desserts in front of me, and I blow it. And here's how I do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I could have that today. I'll just have less food tomorrow. Or I have no snacks tomorrow. So I'm always using these excuses to compromise. And I never end up reaching my goal. That's something I'm still working on. I don't know what it is for you, but those little compromises prevent us from reaching our true potential and our purpose for God. You see, Jesus could have took that little compromise, saved his very own life, and guess what would have happened to us? We would have still been disconnected from the Father. You see, we each have an opportunity to not compromise. There's something, that little thing in our lives that God wants to use to showcase to the world My challenge to you, find out what it is. Stop compromising and let God use you to his glory. Thank you for joining me today. If you like what you heard, please like and subscribe, and see you next time on Faith in 5.